It's everybody's favorite part of the day. It's crime time. It's crime time. Time to solve a murder. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we're gonna get right into it because y'all know what we're here for. Y'all know why we're here. We're here to solve a murder. And today is the day. We are going to finish it. I hope. I hope so badly that we can finish this first trial finally, because it has taken... This is the third stream of just the first trial. So hopefully today we'll finally be able to finish it and prove that my good sweet baby boy Ryunosuke did not commit a murder, because he's a good sweet baby boy. Without further ado, let's get into it. Let's go! Let's go! Come on, come on, come on. Okay. I'm ready. I'm ready. 22nd November, 1:14 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature, Courtroom 2. I'm getting so good at saying Judicature. Are you proud of me? I'm learning. Oh yes, this girl has come in to save our butts. Because we're too incompetent to do it ourselves. Alright. Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why this sudden ingress into my courtroom? Ha! A judicial assistant, and a woman no less. The rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify. Ooh! 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 Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense. Ha! You're too late, little girl. The trial has already been concluded. 5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more. But, Your Excellency... I am most grateful. Yeah! Save me! Save me, please! Oh my gosh, how many people can we fit in this little bench here? Who are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now. What is it? A report about something? Written in English. It's Giselle Brett's research. Gasp! The Englishwoman's? Was she perhaps researching poison? I bet it was poison. I bet she was researching poison. After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's laboratory in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper. Oh yes, that's right. Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, does this research, whatever it is, have something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. You don't know?! Girl, my life is on the line here. Kazuma's friggin'... his job is on the line. His future is on the line, and you don't know if this evidence is relevant or not? Okay. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of curare and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. I bet it's a poison! Curare, what's that? I've never heard that word before. Time's up. The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser from the courtroom. There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. This is wonderful, thank you! Yay! An unknown poison! Oh! We got her. We got her. She's dead. She's done. Goodbye then, and good luck. Bye! I've already forgotten your name, but bye! You have had long enough, counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. I ask that the prosecution and the defense now, one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but... The prosecution has made its case convincingly enough already. Nothing more to add, Your Excellency. Ryunosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. That's me. Well, Miss Brett? Yes, Your Excellency. If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer. It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid it's not so very long until tea time. I'll have to politely decline. Yo, welcome! Welcome to the stream! Forgive me, Miss Brett, it seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question, however, I must ask you to treat that as an order. You ain't getting out of here that easily, ma'am. I've said it many times before, but the Japanese language makes no sense. My apologies, dear lady. So, Council, what is this new evidence? Wait. What? I wonder which one it could be. Can I analyze it and see? Okay, let's see. Synopsis. A poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate their prey. Effects. Instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Route of entry. The above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Oh. So, wait. So, my theory last time was that the butler guy had drank the poison, and that's why he keeps coughing blood. But this says, like, if you, like, the effects of it are instant. So, like, maybe he's dying more slowly because he ingested it instead of it entering a wound or something? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Let's see. Practical applications. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first, or patients would die of suffocation. Okay, so whatever this solution for the respiratory arrest is, must be applicable to the butler guy. So maybe, I don't know what the deal is with the butler guy. Either way, this is our evidence. Present. Case closed. I did it. Mr. Zalebrett, we understand you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yume University. Doing research. A woman doing research? Unfathomable. Women can't learn. Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, into a deadly poison. What? Poison? Where are you going with this, Council? A toxin known as curare, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death. What complete and utter nonsense? Curare, you say? I've never even heard of it. And that's why it didn't show up when you tested it for poison, because they don't. The butler guy specifically said they only tested for known poisons, and this is an unknown poison. Oh my gosh, I have the biggest brain on the planet. You wouldn't have done. What do you mean? I mean that you wouldn't have heard of curare before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist? Now he's really gonna have a crisis. Correct. Which means, no matter what tests the police can do for toxins, they never identify curare. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison. What? Exposed! Order! Council, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report, authored by the visiting research student from England, curare has long been used by the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists. To lace their arrows? The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle. And it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with curare suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett? Ooh. Oh, I'm receiving a phone call. Sorry, it's gonna have to wait. This is more important. Trumpery! These aspersions are utter trumpery. To start with, if the victim had been administered some of this so-called deadly poison, he would have been squirming and writhing in pain, and the other diners would have surely noticed. Except it was basically instant, because... well... do we know it's a bullet wound for sure? Or is it a... I guess a blow dart wound and a bullet wound would look very different, but maybe the bullet was... I guess the implication is that the bullet was laced with the poison. That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? He's like, oh shit. Oh no. Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around. What do you mean, the other way around? The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that Cure was used. Explain yourself, Counsel. The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Wait, so was it the... did the bullet have poison on it, or did he drink poison from the sparkling water? Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. How terrible. Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. But with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. Oh! So that makes me think that it was the water, because if it was the bullet, he would have, like... wait. Or was it the other way around? I'm confused. I think it would be the bullet, right? Because the bullet would mean the poison enters directly into the bloodstream and he dies immediately. But if he drank it, it's not in his bloodstream yet, so he would just be paralyzed. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. But after a short time, the paralysis is so severe, it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. That's hideous! To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. So I wonder if the bullet wound was just to, like, throw them off the trail and blame Ryunosuke for it. Because they're like... if he just, like, dropped dead instantaneously, people would have been suspicious. But if he had a bullet wound, then obviously he was murdered. Okay, I'm piecing it together. I'm picking up what they're putting down. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly Cure poison. Dun dun! And you're suggesting that this bottle, Counsel, actually contains this terrifying poison? This is all very convenient, isn't it? A hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing. What a happy tale for the defense. If I may. All these facts, you think you're so clever? It is you who must be taught. Of course. Dear lady! I'm getting a strange sense of deja vu. So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. Sounds like someone's projecting. Is that why you killed Dr. Wilson? I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. Ooh! Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime. That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Objection!
Everyone is yelling! Enough of this! I, for one, refuse to accept it. The idea of some poison that doesn't even exist in the great empire of Japan is breaking the rules! What's so funny? Oh, excuse me, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett? May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please? Well, yes, I don't see, why not? Is she gonna drink it? Chug, 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 chug! Yeah! Thank you, Inspector. Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. Not gonna lie, I don't know why I read that as boobs. Don't get too big for your titties! Sorry? Excuse me? To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. I can't read. Your little police games and these foolish courtroom antics is laughable, really. Gasp! But I'm getting bored of it all now. It's time for the games to end. Cheers! Chug, 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 chug! She drank it! Wait, what are you doing? Oh my god, she drank it! No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair. Ooh, dip. Okay. Well, there goes my theory. Okay, time to throw in the towel, I guess. Sorry, Midosuke, guess you're going to prison forever. Goodness. Whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned. Girl, ma'am. So, no cure. The bottle was clean. Is that what you're saying? You look quite incredulous, little boy. But of course, that's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. Grr. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett? I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries. Ah, yes, dear lady. We are most gratified with all the assistance you have given. This trial's never gonna end. This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how? How did she swallow a whole glass and live to tell the tale? Probably the same way the butler did, is what I'm guessing. I don't understand it. Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little Far Eastern charade will make for interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. But she didn't inject it into her, she drank it. It's not in her bloodstream. Come on, Rinosuke, we have all the clues now. That bottle of water, it does contain poison. I hope I'm right about this. The culprit did put cure poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. You're serious? Fool! Are you blind? There's no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw Miss Brent drinking the water from it. That's right. Which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained. Oh my god, I'm falling apart at the seams. How exactly? I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be. You have to inject it into the bloodstream to make it deadly.
Very well, if the defense truly intends to assert this claim,
then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. Source, trust me, bro. Okay. Present! Oh, whoops, wrong button. Let's see. Let's double check. Make sure. The above-mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Yes! Present!
Yes!
The answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Brett's own research report.
that's not a valid explanation.
No? After all,
We don't speak English. That report is utter gibberish. This impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court, Your Excellency.
I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading Sasato-san's notes.
I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You'll direct us to the pertinent section, Counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle?
It was special characteristics, right? I think it was special characteristics. We've been hearing a lot about this Curare poison. And it's left me curious about something.
Oh, Counsel?
Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years, to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. Oh yeah, if you're poisoning the prey, then theoretically, if the poison was like throughout their bloodstream, then you would be eating poisoned food. So they must be using it in a way that like doesn't spread throughout the entire body, right? This is so confusing. So we've been led to believe, yes. And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat. Yeah, exactly.
Get to the point, please.
We can't eat it if it's poison. But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison.
Good gracious, Counsel! No, that would be madness!
But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound.
Through a wound, you say?
I see, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. Oh, get her. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When Curare enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever. Oh my gosh, I'm so smart! Yeah!
What?
Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew Curare's special characteristics, and you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. You meddling little...
Oh my god! The bird's alive!
Why is the bird alive? Well, Ryunosuke, it turns out you're an even better lawyer than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? A lawyer? Oh, this poison talk is fascinating, I'm sure. Why is no one talking about the bird? But I fail to see how it possibly... Oh god, the bird's pissed.
So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with. Some facts he read in a book.
That you wrote!
But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly.
What are you trying to say?
Your schoolboyish logic has a fatal flaw.
Schoolboyish? Flaw? Logic? Is?
As even your brain has managed to deduce, Curare is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus.
Oh,
Yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they?
So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he?
Ah! That's right! Good gracious!
That's basic science. Science that even a schoolboy should be able to understand, no?
I hate this woman. I'm gonna say it. She sucks.
Order! Order in the court! Order! The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way.
Are you trying to suggest?
Yes! This cure poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial.
That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you could understand something as simple as that.
What is this? Welling up inside me!
I really gotta poo. I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else is an animalistic desire to take down my prey. Oh my god. Ryunosuke B-stars? Ryunosuke B-stars confirmed? Blah. I don't think so, Miss Giselle Brett.
How dare you use that tone with me?
You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why, even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead.
Gah? Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence. As we now know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested, why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the cure?
Oh. Uh-oh. It's gotta be the bullet wound, right? Because if the... I think it's the bullet wound. I think it's the bullet wound. This is gonna make me look really stupid. Oh no, he's shaking his head. Oh, I've messed up. Oh no. I'm sorry, Counsel, but the slipshod manner in which you've tossed that evidence before the court does not inspire confidence. Oh no! No!
Listen, Ryunosuke, there's no need to overthink this. We know that Curere's toxic effects only come into play when the poison enters the body via a wound.
Right, so that can only mean that when Dr. Wilson drank his glass of water, he must have had a wound somewhere that let the poison in. Exactly. Oh! Oh, it's the dental report! He had his tooth removed! Exactly. Yeah. Oh, I've got it.
Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. Yes, I've got compelling evidence. I know.
Which one was it? This one! Present! As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners.
A fatal difference?
Gasp! The toxic effects of Curare are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But what if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water?
Inside? Poisoned?
Is! Yes, like the wound you might have. If you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Ah! Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. Ah! So that's it. You used that knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she laughing?
I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly, I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are all so puerile.
What are these words? I don't know what that means. What do you mean?
Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough.
Oh my god. Oh.
You see, when you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it.
No.
I mean, it could just slip.
Oh my god! Oh no! Oh! Uh-oh.
Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed.
Why were they holding on to it in the first place? Shouldn't Hasanaka-san have given that away, like, immediately? Okay. No! What is it? What just happened? It's the English woman. She just smashed that bottle. And in the Supreme Court, what a terrible blunder. Officer, what are you waiting for? Collect up as much of the water from that broken bottle as possible at once.
You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet here was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you it will soak up the water beautifully.
Why does she know that? Why? Okay.
You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it.
How could you? You won't get away with this! You and your meddling butler!
You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle, or not.
You fiend!
And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact. Isn't that right, counsel for the prosecution?
Oh, of course, of course! You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady.
That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So of course the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
No! You killed the victim that day, using Curare. And then, in order to frame Ryunosuke Naruhodo for the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you'd arranged for him to find on the floor, before you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor and his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime.
What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? Well, I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence.
Exactly! And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. The victim, Dr. John H. Wilson, was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? What do you mean this is unbelievable? This is like the 7th time this has happened, at least. We had her, but now is she really going to get away with it? The way she destroyed that evidence was obscene.
Ryunosuke,
Yes?
we've come this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it.
What? What do you mean?
We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head.
In my head? I don't think Ryunosuke has had a single thought in his head this entire time.
You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend on.
Well, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. The swan did it!
So think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, every smell. What I saw, what I felt. Steak. Gasp!
Well, that would have been a helpful to remember, Ryunosuke. Is Cosmo right? Somewhere in the vibrant memory, the same scene in my head. Could there be another clue? I wonder. Do you see a clue? Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, I think I might have uncovered another clue.
Haha, you always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then, let's wipe the smug smile off that Englishwoman's face with some evidence.
Alright, can't wait. I'd pop my knuckles if I could. It's been niggling. Niggling. It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories of that day. I don't know what niggling means, but it sounds inappropriate. Whatever it is could be the key to arriving at the truth about all this. Oh my gosh, we're really doing this. Ooh, what could the clue be? Is it the big obvious blood stain? Inspector Hasanaga, answer me this!
Yes? What is it?
He's still miles away, probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. Oh, you looked up niggle? Cause slight but persistent annoyance, discomfort, or anxiety. I never want to hear that word ever again. As you've said a number of times now, you strive for perfection in your investigations, don't you?
Absolutely.
I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like, for instance, the plate of steak that you took to the victim's table that day? Wait a minute! Where are you going with?
Where are you going with this, little boy?
It's just a memory that's been troubling me.
What memory?
I saw the scene shown in this photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on was a spattering of blood. What?
Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor.
No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. If I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front, there's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Ah!
Yes. For blood to have been made onto the plate, it implies the plate was between the victim and the shooter. Which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor, as you were. Giselle Brett?
I beg your pardon?
This is beyond ridiculous! Fabricated nonsense! Is the court seriously expected to believe something the accused has apparently just remembered seeing?
This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to.
Inspector, you mean?
Yes, I took the plate in the interests of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all, and I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it.
You did what?
He pulls it out, the meat's all like moldy.
I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Brett. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating.
He took all of it.
And I did it all in the name of justice.
Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a blood stain on Miss Brett's plate. We must examine it, now! Inspector! The court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sorry for the delay.
Dude, do you have any other evidence that we don't know about? Like, my god. My guy. Show us what you have.
Here's what you ordered. The steak.
Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it? Of course there isn't. Quickly, Inspector, the blood man, show the court!
Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure.
Oh! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. No. No blood! No blood anywhere! But no, that's impossible! This trial never ends. I know, I saw it, I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the side of the plate.
unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why I always say you can't trust what the Japanese tell you.
Okay, frickin' rude. I couldn't agree more in the case of this disgrace to the Empire. I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion to this trial. Dude, you have said that like 5 times.
Let's hope so. This let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I do promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over.
Oh, Ryunosuke. Ah! This sorry-looking steak reveals the facts all too clearly. If the sorry-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest. Okay, we got the steak. Was the plate I saw, or thought I saw, just a figment of my imagination? This is it now. I've lost.
Ryunosuke, it's not over yet. Not until the final gavel.
Hmm?
Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward no matter what.
Thank God Kazuma's got my back, or I would have had a mental breakdown by now.
Believe in myself.
Really?
Oh, thank you, Bad Gal Beach, for the follow. Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself.
Oh my gosh, okay. As the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way, I presume any further examination of evidence in this trial will be unnecessary. Does the defense have any objection? That bloodstain is going to clinch the trial for me. Can this plate of steak reveal any other clues at all? Well, okay, wait. Wait, I'm thinking. I bet it has something to do with how much of the steak has been eaten. Maybe? I feel like there's another clue. Because, like, the pictures have different, like... In one picture, the steak is eaten, right? And in the other, it's not? Hold on, let's go back to the court record. Okay, the steak isn't eaten in this picture. And yet, it's after the guy was shot. But in this one, it has been eaten. So that's very, very suspicious. This plate of beef is hiding another clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth. It's not the same steak. Yeah, maybe it's not the same steak. Maybe it's a fake steak. The only thing that's shocking here is your unhealthy fascination with beefsteak. Dude, listen, I love me a good carne asada. I cannot be stopped. I will talk about steak all day, every day.
Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial.
I'm sorry, Miss Brett, but we must ensure a thorough examination of the evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that all reasonable doubt has been dispelled.
I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it?
Thank you, Your Excellency. Counsel for the defense, you will now clearly show the court to what you are alluding. Where precisely is the plate on this plate of the new clues? I guess right here? I guess right here.
Got it!
Got it! No, Counsel, I'm afraid that won't do. That was ambiguous at best. When you're asked to identify a detail like this, you must do so- Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Can I rotate the steak? I can't rotate the steak. Uh-oh. I guess, yeah, maybe the sauce? We'll try the sauce. Can't find anything out of place. The bowl? I'm on the side of the plate. Is it a cat? It's a cow, obviously. Most likely because the restaurant's signature dish is beef steak. Seems a lot different. The restaurants have their own unique tableware. This is the symbol of La Carnival. This is not important. What about- Ah! Plot twist! Is that the guy's missing Koban coin? What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin and the hallmark is from the Hoei era. No, I don't mean what is it. I mean, what's it doing there? Wait, did you say it was a Hoei Koban? Yes, and apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This is the first time today there's been talk of a Hoei Koban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but never heard of bullion and bullion. I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means... What's the new clue? Is it perhaps the Koban coin? I certainly never expected to find a precious coin underneath this thick cut of meat. It's from the Hoei era, too. Yeah. It's well marinated. What are you thinking of eating it? No, but the next time I order a steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure, my heart's gonna be racing as I lift up the meat. And beer underneath for a prize. I think you might have the wrong end of the stick about this, Rinosuke. Okay, get on with it. Okay, present! Good gracious, that's... Koban?
What on earth?
A Hoei era one at that. Miss Brett, this is in fact the beef steak that you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat?
What a ridiculous question! How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is, but I want no part of it.
I fail to see how this is relevant. A coin under the meat? That could simply have been a careless mistake by the chef in a moment of distraction. Don't be absurd. We're supposed to believe that this happened by accident in the kitchen? A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. Please don't. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency. Yes, Counsel? A rare Hoei Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give him my lawyer job right now. Rinosuke, you don't have a lawyer job. By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyway.
Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant.
Even though I'm the one on trial here? The point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what it's doing under that steak. The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person it can belong to. The owner of the Koban was found... oh, that one. The owner of the Koban was also under the steak. He was down there too. Okay, this guy. Present. Obviously, it can only be the antiques dealer and owner of Rasute, Kiryu Korakuda-san.
Kiri, as in Mr. Cucumber something. Honestly, these ridiculous Japanese names are quite unfathomable.
Ah, yes. The old man who testified earlier alongside the military sergeant, correct? Yes, Your Excellency. I remember him saying that he was up to something with his Koban coin when it happened. At exactly the moment the gun was fired.
The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor.
Too busy on the floor? Sorry, what were you doing?
Hunting for treasure. Indeed, the Hoei era Koban, my prized coin.
Then this Hoei era Koban? Do you mean to tell me? No, please, why would Korakuda-san's Koban be sandwiched between the victim's beefsteak and his plate? It makes no sense. Yes. Which is why I'm asking to bring Korakuda-san back to the witness stand so we can ask him. Oh, this is going nowhere. Bring both witnesses that testified earlier back in here. Without a moment's delay. We're gonna run out of space in this courtroom. I can't believe we come back around to that bear again. But I have a hunch, a strong hunch, that if we chase down the real significance of this Koban, we'll find that it's a key element in the case. What a motley crew we have here. What's all this about? Why have I been called up again? Don't you realize that it's dinner time for little baby Ido? When my son's belly is empty, he's fiercer than a pack of wolves. I forgot about this too. I forgot about both these guys. Exploited by the police we were, like miserable dogs, forced to bear false witness. Does he have a knife? Why does he have a knife? And when cast from this courtroom myself, I became a ruined man in a trice, a worthless, withered antique. Nothing more have I to say. The sun has set on this Rasute shop owner's existence. Be that as it may, Korakuto-san, something has come to light that requires a clarification. As far as your Rasute memory serves, have you ever seen this Koban? Yes, that's it! The very exact one that it is! The resplendent, splendiferous Hoei treasure that my rusty bones managed to misplace that fateful day! It can't be. As I thought. Young man, enlighten this decrepit old fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped? Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaking in the seasoned meat's juices. Sandwiched? Soaking? Seriously? Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident. Which means somebody must have hidden it there on purpose. Somebody concealed my Hoei treasure between a slab of meat and a metal plate? Who would do such a thing? Such an unconscionable thing! Man, this game is really putting my voice acting skills to the test, isn't it?
Excuse me. Could I say something?
Yes, of course. Proceed, Inspector Hasanaga.
I mentioned this earlier in the trial, but I was working undercover in the restaurant in order to investigate another case.
Ah, yes, that's right. The secret undercover operation.
The Carnival is a high-class Western cuisine restaurant. It attracts wealthy diners, including many foreigners. Recently, there's been a run of similarly executed thefts targeting the restaurant's rich clientele. A number of such incidents have been reported to the police bureau.
So maybe someone hid it in the steak to hide it so they could steal it later? Wicked crimes indeed.
We wanted to nip the case in the bud quickly, especially with so many foreigners being affected.
So that's why you were sent in undercover, is it?
Yes, I took on the job of waiter at the restaurant in order to flush out the criminal. It seems likely that this Koban incident is the work of the same thief. So, unbeknownst to us, there was a master thief at work in the restaurant on a regular basis. The place was already the scene of several crimes, it seems.
I don't know about the master thief part, but the identity of the person who stole and hid Korakuto-san's Koban is all too clear. It is. What? What? I think the court would like to hear the defense's view on this matter. Tell us, who is the despicable scoundrel that stole Korakuto-san's Koban and hid it under the steak? I'm just glad we were right to believe the steak was super important from the beginning. Yeah, I kind of figured. Oh boy. Could it be the antiques guy himself? Because the only other person who is there like regularly is Hasanaga, and it's not him because he's the one who's pointing out that there have been thefts. And I guess it could be Miss Brett. Oh no. Oh boy, oh howdy. I guess. Oh wait, doesn't she come to lunch at this place with the victim like all the time? So it could be her. If she's visiting here constantly. Okay, we'll try her. And if not, I think it might be the other guy. Yeah, seems like a likely candidate for a Koban thief. No, come on, Rinosuke. Huh? You shocked me, Kazuma.
Not as much as you shocked me. No one could have approached the table unnoticed. Even if you're a crazy fool, you couldn't have missed that.
Oh! Okay. Yeah, I think... Okay, you don't need to be rude. So I think it's gotta be the antiques guy himself. Yeah. I think it's gotta be him, right?
Take that!
Okay, I think that was right. Yes. What? What? Oh. That's not good. Uh-oh. Oh dear. Oh dear. Is it between this guy and this guy? I couldn't have approached the table unnoticed. Okay, well, which table? Both of them? Because if it's the table that these two were sitting at, then this guy could obviously get close to the table because he was already sitting at it. But if it was this table, then it had to be either him or her because they were the only ones at the table. Well, I guess it couldn't be him because he was the victim. Okay, well, we've got 2 guesses left, so I guess we'll go with this guy?
Take that!
Okay, I think that was right. Obviously, it can only be you. Sergeant Yesanosa. What? How? How dare you? You monster! His baby! Do you see his face? Monster? I stole that coal mine, did I? I'm the master thief of my carnival, am I? You're seriously accusing me of these crimes, cadet? But it wasn't me. It was Ida. The baby's face. Ida was the master of I had all of this. What? You would push the blame for your crimes on your own son, an innocent little baby? It's you who's the monster, Sergeant Nosa. What is happening? Yeah. What the frick is going on? What? What is happening? Depot Imperial Army Sergeant Yasanosa, prepare to stand down in the Supreme Court, sir. What is happening? Okay. Do any of you know of the extraordinarily low wages the Nippon Imperial Army pays to those it expects to keep our country safe? I understand that the temporary increase in taxation owing to the recently ended conflicts remains in place. And I've heard it's hard for lower-ranking soldiers to make a living, yes. All I want is to put a hot meal on the table for my son. This is the guy who just accused his son of theft. That's why you were stealing things at the restaurant? The place is heaving with money. Every 3 days, I go there and do reconnaissance for a target. And I'd enjoy chopping my way through a good steak at the same time. Sounds like he doesn't bother with a knife and fork even, which is worryingly believable. And your target that day was the old man and his koban? Yes, sir. He was an easy mark. I slipped the coin into my pocket without any trouble at all.
A veritable phantom thief you are.
Persona 5. Joker would never. I was all set to leave the steak I was halfway through devouring when it happened. Yes, when the professor was shot. I knew that if the police conducted a search and found the coin in my pocket, I'd be finished. I know too. So I hid the incriminating evidence as fast as I could. On the double. Did he have the baby with him at the restaurant? I slipped it under the steak, hoping that I'd be able to rendezvous with it again at a later date. Okay, but who's the murderer? This is ridiculous.
Perhaps you could carry on with this absurd prattling in your own time.
Well, Miss Brett. Of course, dear lady, of course. How rude of us. I'm quite sure there's no need to detain you any longer at all. May the esteemed gentlewoman please be excused, Your Excellency. Indeed. The theft of the Gobon was clearly perpetuated by this baby-saddled sergeant. It would certainly appear to be unrelated to Dr. Wilson's murder.
Of course it is. Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me.
Nonsense, is it? Well, oof.
And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife or fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Very well. Now that all questions concerning this witness's testimony have been answered, I see no further justification for detaining her. Miss Brett, you are free to leave.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Good luck, everyone. And good day.
I'm gonna have an aneurysm.
Ryanosuke, what's the matter with you? This is no time for daydreaming.
Oh, no, it's just something about Miss Brett's parting words there got me thinking. Can't quite work out what exactly, but something she said jarred with me. I feel like there was a contradiction in there somewhere. What?
If that's the case, don't just stand there thinking. Make your voice heard.
Sorry?
You can think later, but if you don't call out now, it'll be too late. The trial will be over.
Hold it!
Wait, Miss Brett!
What is it now?
I'm afraid, just one last time, there's something I'd like to ask you.
I'd like you to explain the contradiction in your parting words from just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? What contradiction?
What new student nonsense is this?
Well, what parting words are you talking about, Ryanosuke? Hiding a coin under a lump of meat. The sheer nonsense of such an idea astounds me. And as for picking up your steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork, it's beyond nonsense. It's pure madness.
Hold on. Hold on a diddly dang minute. Hold on. Wait, so there's a fork there. Uh-huh. And a knife there. Okay. So well, that seems to imply that she used a knife and fork. So I don't know. I still don't. I'm confused. Yes, I'm right. What she said there exposed an undeniable contradiction. I'm going to need to see evidence, Counsel. Miss Brett's words truly are contradictory. Where's the evidence to prove it? I feel like it has to do something with the knife and fork, right? On this picture it has both of them, so I guess this one.
Take that!
A photographic print of the scene taken immediately after the incident occurred? What's interesting is the plate of steak that you can see on the victim's table. A steak that Miss Brett had been eating before the professor was killed, yes? Go on. More accurately, Your Excellency. The steak that was on the victim's table just before the professor was killed. Now you're just splitting hairs. Not true. Doesn't something about this steak strike you as very unnatural? Unnatural? What on earth do you mean? It's extremely obvious. I'm talking about the shape of the edges where it's been eaten. Gah! I see you've noticed it too, Miss Brett. Noticed what exactly, Counsel? Just a few moments ago, Miss Brett claimed no Englishman could even contemplate picking up a steak and biting into it without using a knife and fork. Of course she did. She's a refined English gentlewoman herself. Then take a good look at this steak, in particular, the edge where it's been eaten. Oh, they're like bite marks. As you can see, there are clearly defined barbaric teeth marks there. Oh! She swapped her steak with the general's steak! Or sergeant, I don't know what his rank is. Nosa, that guy.
It looks like Miss Brett had realized something.
So, if the witness, as she claims, wouldn't contemplate eating anything without using a knife and fork, there shouldn't be teeth marks in the steak at all. But what is your actual point? Perhaps the delightful Miss Brett was ravenously hungry.
Oh, whatever you say, dear lady. As I said, I really must be leaving now. Afternoon tea with the Minister of Justice cannot possibly wait any longer.
Of course, of course. This will all be over in the blink of an eye. Rest assured, I'm about to put this rookie in his place.
I've heard enough. You irritating little spectacled samurai relic.
Of course. Dear lady.
What's the matter, Miss Brett? Have we ruffled your feathers?
Clearly the witness knows what this means. She's realized the catastrophic implications these teeth marks on the steak have for her.
Ryunosuke, do you know where you're going with this?
I do, actually. She swapped the steak. Yes, now at last it's all coming together. It's all coming together. The mysterious teeth marks and a steak that had allegedly been eaten with cutlery. The reason why the blood stain I know I saw somehow seems to have disappeared. Oh, and the butler guy said that he got the steaks from both of them. Most importantly, the evidence that proves, once and for all, who shot Dr. Wilson that day. Oh yes, we're almost there. We got this. I accept that these teeth marks on the steak are a little unnatural, as you put it, counsel. But what exactly are you suggesting that tells us?
Everything, Your Excellency.
Everything? Yes, I believe that those barbaric teeth marks in the steak here amount to conclusive evidence in this case. Evidence that will prove beyond any doubt who shot Dr. Wilson.
Conclusive evidence? How many times have I heard that today? You wouldn't know the meaning of the phrase. Typical Japanese empty threats.
How can you be so sure?
Oh, it's quite simple. If you really had such conclusive evidence, you would have presented it to the court long ago.
Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet. Hasn't been... what?
But just because it hasn't been shown yet, doesn't mean that the evidence does not exist. This is more complicated than a Danganronpa trial, my god.
This is absurd. The trial has run several hours already, and you say there's evidence yet to be brought forward? There can't be. I don't believe you have it.
The other steak.
Hasanaga-san, I need you.
I don't, but there's someone who does have it. Someone in this very courtroom. If that person is willing to submit the piece of evidence I'm referring to, it will solve every remaining mystery about this case.
Very well. I have a feeling this will be my last request of the defense in this trial. Who possesses the conclusive evidence that will reveal the truth? Hasanaga! Present!
Take that!
The answer is obvious. It's Inspector Hasanaga. What? I have it? Yes! You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on the steak with the teeth marks.
Yes.
Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak. And as well as admitting to stealing Korakuta-san's coin, he told us that he slipped it under the steak.
You watch it, cadet. I'm a superior officer.
Sergeant Nosa, could you please confirm something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak?
Attention! Affirmative, of course. I might be a soldier in the Imperial Nippon Army, but still. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign gentle lady if she'd mind me manhandling her meat to hide something in it.
In other words, the steak that the detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
But that makes no sense. That plate was taken from the victim's table.
Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire.
Well then, how do you explain this paradox? Exactly, surely you're not going to suggest...
I really hope this dude isn't the prosecutor for the entire game, because I cannot do his voice any longer, my god.
Well, the sergeant switched the two steaks over?
Awkward.
You did switch the plates! Oh, he switched the plates. Well, after it happened, when I saw the civilian had been murdered right in front of my eyes like that, I panicked. As I said, I immediately lifted my stake and hid the coin underneath it. But then when the waiter announced he was undercover policeman, I thought I'd had it. If he decided to investigate my slab of meat, that'd be it. I'd be getting my marching orders. So when the cadet here was arrested and taken off to the kitchen, I seized my chance. With military precision and timing, I switched my stake with the one on the foreign lady's table.
What? You can't have. I never saw you do such a thing.
It was called Operation Lightning Bolt. There was no time for strategic planning. It was do or die, I tell you. So yes, I did what had to be done.
Unbelievable!
However, fear not, Prosecutor Son. What now? I swear on the brass buttons of my uniform. That is all I did, sir.
All you did? That's plenty, Sergeant.
Yes!
So, if Sergeant Nosa switched the plates over, it means he took Miss Brett's steak and the plate it was on back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hasanaga.
Yes. Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That to preserve evidence, you had taken both.
Ah! Oh, she's freaking out.
That's correct. Then please present it to the court now. The plate that was actually on the victim's table at the precise moment he was shot. What can that possibly tell us now? I mean, a cold slab of tough meat. It can't have the slightest bearing on this case. No, you're not wriggling your way out of it this time, lady.
She's vibrating. Oh my god.
I beg your pardon?
Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely you remember the reason why this steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you, no?
You're the ones who decided it was a problem, not me.
The reason the defense asked to see that plate was confirm something the defendant remembers seeing.
Thinks he remembers.
I'm quite sure of what I saw, Miss Brett. On the side of the plate that was on the table directly behind Dr. Wilson, there was a clear spattering of blood from the gunshot wound to the victim's chest. I believe the defendant's memory serves him well. And now we have the evidence to prove it. The plate you were eating from, Miss Brett.
Let us not prolong this any further. Inspector, you will show the evidence to the court. Present the beefsteak and plate that was originally on the victim's table at the time of the incident.
Yes, sir. Sorry for keeping you.
Ah! There it is!
Here is the other steak and its plate. Please feel free to examine it.
Yeah!
The blood stain. It's clearly visible. Look.
Ah!
Now this makes everything clear. The blood you could see on the side of the plate shows that at the moment the victim was shot, he was facing the table with his back to me. In other words, it's simply impossible for Naruhodo-san to have shot the victim.
It can't be.
In fact, there's only one person who could possibly have shot Dr. Wilson from the front. I'm sure everyone knows by now who that person is. That's right, Miss Giselle Brett. It's you!
Oh my gosh, finally!
Oh boy.
Oh no! The bird!
Now done by a Japanese? Me? By a Japanese schoolboy? No!
Oh my god! The bird's pissed! Oh no! Oh my god! Oh my goodness. Oh, there she goes. Whoa, oh my god, there she goes. Oh, they're so cute. Congrats, Ryunosuke, you're a father now. Oh my god. She just won. I'm gonna cry.
Please excuse my little outburst. I briefly lost my composure. Most unbecoming behavior for an English gentlewoman. Forgive me.
Well, Miss Brett, I think it's time you told the court what actually happened that day. The truth this time.
Gladly, Your Excellency.
That was absurd.
It was I who took the professor's life, using Carrera. As you surmised, I chose that particular day for one very important reason. The professor had a dental appointment for the extraction of one of his teeth in the morning.
So you planned to kill the professor, knowing that no trace of poison would be found in his water. Because Curare is unheard of here in Japan.
Yes, of course. I never intended to remain at the restaurant for as long as I did. I only needed to see the professor take one tiny sip of his water, and it would be all over. I would place the steak I had ordered in front of him to make it appear as though he had been dining alone, and leave immediately. However, before any of that happened, there was an unexpected visitor at the professor's table.
That would be me, I suppose.
Yes, you. Who else? Such a trifling matter, but the fact that you decided to come over to greet the professor meant that I had lost my chance to slip away unnoticed. In due course, the professor took a sip of his water and was paralyzed. I made sure he was sitting in his chair such that he wouldn't fall. There was no going back at that point, so I concocted a plan on the spur of the moment.
A plan to pin Dr. Wilson's murder on this innocent man.
I happened to know that the professor always carried a gun. I decided to use that fact to my advantage. I had the bottle of Curare in my handbag, and my own pistol concealed under my skirt.
Under your skirt? So I was right, there were two guns.
Yes.
And then I finished my coffee and got up to leave. That's when I noticed the professor's gun, which you had presumably placed on the floor. Placed where you were sure that I wouldn't notice it. Or I would notice it.
And everything went according to plan. You noticed the gun, as I'd intended. And then, just as you bent down to pick it up...
Bang! That's when you shot the professor with your own gun. Even though at that point, he was already dead.
Naturally, the gunshot caused a commotion, at which point the waiter appeared.
Obviously, I assumed Naruhodo-san was the culprit and apprehended him. I took him to the pantry that adjoins the kitchen and locked him inside.
That's when I took the opportunity to turn the professor and his chair around.
Because of course, you needed to make it look like the defendant had shot Dr. Wilson from where he'd picked up the gun. Oh my goodness. We're almost there, I can feel it. We're so close. Please.
So there you have it. That is the entirety of my misdemeanor.
Misdemeanor! Amanda's dead! Oh, my arms are falling asleep.
Your Excellency.
Yes?
I wonder. Might I speak with you in private later?
I shall call on you.
Thank you. Good day then, everyone. I hope you can forgive me, Naruhodo-san.
Just dissolved out of nowhere. She got Thanos snapped away. Is she allowed to go? Okay. It would seem this trial has finally run its course. I presume the prosecution is in agreement. This can't be. Taketsuchihachi does not lose! Not to the likes of this rookie student!
You'd better start getting used to tough opposition.
Ah! Ryunosuke Naruhodo!
What? Yes?
This insult to the Ouchi family name will never be forgotten!
You've become conceited with age, Council. But the old have to stand aside and make way for the new.
Oh my goodness.
It's the way of the world. May you never forget that.
Oh my god, careful with that thing! How did he do that? He's on the other side of the room!
1,000 millennia may pass, and still, the Ouchi clan will never measure up to the Naruhodo clan.
Am I a clan? Dude, that's sick. This trial, the Supreme Court of Japan, will, I believe, go down in history as the start of a new chapter in our country's judicial system. Despite being summoned as the accused, you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, presented an excellent case. Oh, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Your Excellency. The use of evidence and deduction to unravel the truth is a modern methodology. After all, it has only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. But the Western ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance here. I feel sure that science will soon bring new methods of investigation and new procedures of justice. A new future of law awaits, but what it will look like I cannot begin to imagine. That is for the young to pursue. Kazuma Asogi.
Yes?
After this trial, you are set to embark on a journey of discovery to the illustrious British Empire. Oh no, is he gonna be gone for the rest of the game? Oh no! Oh, but I like Kazuma. Learn all you can. Absorb everything of the wider world that you are able to. And do not forget to fulfill the mission imposed upon you. I suppose it's better than, like, the original Ace Attorney trilogy where... I can never remember which one's it. Mia or Maya, the big boobs lady that just freaking died, and that's why she wasn't with you for the rest of the game. I very much like Kazuma not being dead.
I understand, Your Excellency.
What was that about? Why do you look so grave all of a sudden?
Never mind.
It's because he's gonna miss his freaking boyfriend, that's why. As for you, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh, yes? And you, I sense, how can I put it, unusual potential. I very much look forward to seeing how you carry that onwards.
Thank you, Your Excellency.
We did it! Yeah! Woo! It is time to deliver the final verdict. I hereby find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo,
not guilty. Alright, let's go!
Oh my god, there's cherry blossoms in here! Wow, how pleasant. Woohoo! Yay! This court is now adjourned! Alright, gamers, let's go! And we're almost at the 1:30 mark! Yeah! 22nd November, 2:46 p.m. Supreme Court of Judicature. Defendants, Antechamber. 5. I can't believe I did it! I can't believe what's happened! I made it! I defended myself and made it through that horrendous trial!
Ryunosuke, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations.
Well, I could have done it without you. Thank you, Kazuma.
Ha 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 ha. No, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place on Yume University Street. Don't forget.
Oh, I'm assuming this is Mikatoba. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Oh, no, it's you. My bad.
Congratulations to both of you for providing Naruhodo-san's innocence. Ah, our trustworthy judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know. Oh, no, I didn't do anything.
Thank you so much! If we hadn't had that research report of Miss Brett's, I don't know how things would have turned out.
Your kind words should really be for my father. I was simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate.
Your father? Yes, of course.
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency. Sasato Mikitoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense.
Speaking of Mikatoba.
Ah, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruhodo, you did an excellent job.
Thank you, Professor.
Oh no, it is I who should be thanking you. After all, your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend.
Good friend? Oh, yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume University, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Professor Mikatoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine in Great Britain. Presumably that's when you met Dr. Wilson?
Exactly. In those days, we worked together in the same hospital.
Oh, you worked together?
I've never heard you mention that before.
Well, it was a long time ago now. Besides, it's your turn now, Sogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world. In science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot.
I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan.
You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you?
Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his soul. This blade shows me where I need to go. And cuts down anything that's in my way.
Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes.
That reminds me, what's happened to the woman? To Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty of murder.
Ah, yes, her. It's not easy to tell you this, but...
What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all.
She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai.
What? Shanghai? Sorry about that. Anyways.
Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that.
What? But why not? Oh, who's this? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Oh, hello. Inspector Hasanaga.
It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate.
But what's all this about consular jurisdiction?
We cannot try this particular foreigner for her crimes here in Japan.
What? We can't try her? But then who? Who's going to bring her to justice?
A British consular court will hear her case, somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard.
But why a consular court?
Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now that we've signed the friendship treaty.
Yes, in normal circumstances, you're right.
Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of a highly political nature to our respective governments, they can't invoke a consular court just like that.
Oh, can't they?
Yes, she's a student, but it doesn't justify our governments making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on.
So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here in Japan.
I'm afraid that for the young student, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her.
What? No. I don't believe it.
The British Emperor's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously.
But it's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil, this new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves.
Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it.
Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink.
But Professor...
You're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest La Carnival? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink.
You're a detective, Hasanaga-san, aren't you?
Let's not worry about detail for now. Wait, so why is he coughing then? To La Carnival, will you accept us, Professor?
If he didn't drink the poison, what's his deal?
Of course. La Carnival's food is second to none. I shall go to attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release.
Oh, yes, thank you. So Giselle Brett won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. I honestly do not care at this point. Kazuma!
Yes, Ryunosuke?
I just wanted to say thanks again. That's all. You really saved my skin today.
Ha ha ha. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer in there, weren't you? That defense was all your own work.
Your skills made the difference, though. One day I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world.
I'm not so sure about that. To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me.
What? Come on, be serious.
If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it. For being a defense lawyer, I mean.
Oh, no, not me. All that tense verbal combat? I never want to go through that ever again. I did what you told me to do, that's all. Because I knew I could trust you.
That's the point.
Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point?
Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win?
Knowledge of the law?
No, the ability to believe.
To believe? To believe what? In the power of friendship.
A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times.
Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it.
I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. But being able to remain faithful to what you choose to believe in even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person.
Get on with it! Believing in your client.
Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me.
Well,
You faced seemingly hopeless situations time and time again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it, through your own efforts, and because you never stopped believing in me.
Thanks, Kazuma.
There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Are you into dudes? Please. It's a very serious question. I mean, well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me.
Sounds serious. What is...
Oh, you're still here, are you?
Oh, Inspector Hasanaga.
I've arranged some rickshaws for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory.
And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget.
Ah, yes, that too.
So my very first trial came to an end. Save point, please.
Kazuma. Professor Mikotoba. Susato-san, who acted as my assistant.
Oh, are we gonna go through every character? Okay. Inspector Hasanaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still.
It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through that trial. More importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me.
Little did I realize, oh no. Just how it would change my life. Oh no. Yeah! We did it! We got through it!
Ah, it's about time. Save your progress. Yes, please.
Oh my gosh, okay. We did it! We made it through our first trial in Ace Attorney. Oh my gosh, okay. As always, thank you all for coming to the stream. It's been a journey. Oh my goodness, I'm lightheaded. All right. Next week, I don't know what I'm going to be doing. Perhaps I will just continue on to the next trial. Maybe I'll give it a break and go back to some Star Rail or something. Maybe I'll visit some Hades 2 again. We'll see what happens. But with that, thank you. And I will see you next week. Goodbye.